Hey yo, what's the deal? You know who it is. It's the Don. Cheer. Tony Teflon. House Teflon. We pull the strings. Cheer. And I'm back at you, my people. And it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. Back, I'm back. I'm back here. Cheer. Back at you. Drink in hand. You know who the fucking man is. And we about to get back into doing what we do. And this episode right here is about the winds of winter and how the winds of winter will end. So, with no further ado, I shall get right into this for you because I'm sure that is exactly what you are here for. So let us start part 2. Jaime. Jaime with one hand has no chance to defeat Brienne. They dance around each other. Lady Stoneheart says if they do not fight, that she will have them both killed. Brienne knocks Jaime down, kicks him around. She then tells Jaime to kill her. He refuses. She lunges at him. He will not kill her. He tries again. He will not kill her. He tells her no. Then she lunges at him. He blocks her sword, and she falls on his. She looks at him and makes him swear to keep her oath. He agrees on his honor as a knight to protect Sansa Stark. He takes oath to keep him. Lady Stoneheart has no choice but to let him go. Brienne dies. Jaime heads towards the Vale. Jon lands the dragon. Dany is excited. Aegon and Jon Connington are furious. They try to seize Jon. Dany and the dragon won't allow it. Aegon tells Jon to leave. Jon leaves. Varys and Jon Connington and Illyrio, who is now master of coins, sets a trap for Jon. Jon fights his way out, but is injured. Jon rides hurt on his horse. He is barely alive when he is found. He is then found by Lady Stoneheart. She tells Jon she is sorry for the treatment, and she legitimizes Jon in her eyes. She then has Thoros perform the kiss of death and take her life force and put it into Jon. He does this, and Lady Stoneheart is killed. Jon lives, and they go off with him. Now, as we know, you can only win this Game of Thrones with alliances. And certain people have not made alliances at all and tried to do it by themselves. And I don't think that if they are to continue in this, they're going to have to make an alliance. So I could only see an alliance being made because we really see the ones already forged between two people right now, as this situation that I have put forth would go. So we go to Cersei. Cersei is in Casterly Rock. She hears the word of Tyrion in King's Landing, and she's with Dany. She fears she will come for her. Stannis, with part of the Vale, are on their way to seize Casterly Rock. Cersei makes the only play I believe she has. She has Qyburn set word to Euron Greyjoy. Euron agrees to marry Cersei and become Lord of Casterly Rock. After a night betting Cersei, Euron takes off to fight Stannis. Euron sees Stannis' army and burns them all. None survive. Sansa Stark hears words of the defeat of Stannis and Stannis' death. Jaime Lannister joins her Queen's Guard. Cersei hears word of Jaime and demands Euron to fly and burn them alive. Euron flies for the Vale. He flies up and burns everything in sight. They try to fight him off, but the dragon is too strong. Euron flies to the top and confronts Sansa. He commands the dragon to burn her. Bran enters the dragon's mind, distracting the dragon. Jaime, with Oathkeeper, then strikes the dragon, and the dragon is felt. It tumbles to the floor, tumbles from the sky. Euron falls off the dragon to his death. Sansa Stark renames Jaime Lannister, the Dragon Slayer. Jaime rides to seize Casterly Rock. He is joined by the Hound. Cersei, hearing news, is drunk and mad. She stumbles through Casterly Rock. Jaime and the Hound defeat Sir Robert Strong outside of Casterly Rock. Cersei flees and sees Qyburn dead in a room. And then she looks around. She sees a burnt Stannis Baratheon. He strangles her. Cersei is dead. Jaime enters Casterly Rock and finds Cersei's dead. There are no signs of Stannis. Instead, Jaime runs into Arya Stark. Now, at this point, I know that I have gone a little bit past the actual Winds of Winter story. And I think that, I had to, because just to leave it hanging where it could be left hanging at the ends of Winds of Winter would be, I don't know how much you would like that. So that's why I went a little past. So sorry, I did not stick to the exact title. But that's the way I see how all that ending. Now, Ariane saw how Daenerys reacted to Jon Snow, or Jon Targaryen. Illyrio, Varys, and Jon Connington agree. They scheme to kill Dany. Theon and Asha return to the Iron Islands. They have a new king's moot. Asha is named Queen of the Iron Islands. While falling, the dragon falling from the slice of Jaime Lannister, Bran wins control over the dragon, takes control of the dragon, and begins to fly. Now, that is where I have stopped that particular thing, and I know that that is probably a little disappointing to some people. So, but I have no choice but to stop right there. I know I left out Sam, and I will have to do, because Sam, I actually have a video coming up about the whole Maesters and everything else. So to do that right now would really ruin my next video coming. So I cannot do that, and that's the reason why. I hope you understand. But since I have wrapped that up a little bit early, I actually have been having a little discussion with people, a couple of people on chatting about Stannis Baratheon, saying that, once again, saying Stannis Baratheon does not measure up to Ned Stark or Jon Snow or anyone like that. And I just don't know how people see that. That's exactly the way I feel. So once again, as the hand of the king and Stannis Baratheon, I think I have no choice. But even though I have made this argument before and defended this point, just go through this exactly again. Let's go through Stannis Baratheon, Ned Stark, and see who is better or more tactical in this game, or whatever people want to say about that. How about that? Now, we'll be very even about this and try to take both sides evenly, even though obviously I favor Stannis. I do not have to do anything but quote the man's history to really defend him in this situation. So let's talk about this real quick. So when we look at Ned Stark, let's look at the battles Ned Stark has won, what he is credited to have won. We know he won the battle at the Tower of Joy. We know that, right? He won that, but he had assistance from Howland Reed, and Ned says himself that he would have died without the help of Howland Reed. So it wasn't like he did it. He had to get help. But hey, he was fighting the best fighters that they know in the King's Guard. Now, are the King's Guard the best fighters? Now we see the King's Guard, Sir Marion, one of the best fighters in the realm. So when people think of the King's Guard, please remember that, you know, this curse of the King's Guard does not make them the best fighters, but that's what their legend is. Doesn't make it true, you know what I mean? So, but Ned had assistance, but he did win that battle. So he definitely won the battle. Now, the battle over with the Greyjoy Rebellion. Uh, yes, he did go over there. Was that the Great Wick that he took with Robert? He was there with Robert, but he wasn't even the first one through the door. It was Thoros and Mir. Um, but that was after Stannis really defeated everybody to secure the way through. He defeated Victorion Greyjoy and Euron Greyjoy single-handedly. Stannis did this with his tactical ability, not with his hands literally, but with his tactics, and defeated them, captured Euron, and that allowed the Starks, and Ned Stark and Robert to go through. And Stannis didn't have like Robert Baratheon with him; he just had it himself. And when he went there and his troops. So he didn't have no superheroes. Like Robert had all the big strong people with him that is known. And when they got there, Greyjoy just bent the knee. He didn't even really fight. Now, Stannis, we know, held Storm's End from the Tyrells, right? And he held it with a few hundred men. This is the Tyrell force that defeated Robert Baratheon. Charlie force that defeated Robert Baratheon in battle. The only one to defeat the great Robert Baratheon. And Stannis was able to hold him off with nothing by himself, with a couple hundred men. Stannis also lost the Battle of Blackwater. Without a doubt, he went in there and he lost, and there's no denying that he lost that battle. He did overcome the chain, and he did overcome the wildfire, but he did not see the pact coming between, even though Melisandre did see it, and he should have took her, but he did not believe her. He listened to Davos, and that's why when people always say Stannis is so unflexible, if you really look at it, Stannis is the most flexible guy in this Game of Thrones. He always takes advice from council. All the time. He listens to Davos, he takes his advice. He listens to Melisandre, he takes his advice. In the show, you see him talking to Jon, he takes his advice. So him being this big iron will guy, he doesn't listen to anyone, is wrong. That's not true. That's just how he is supposed to be thought as, but in reality, if you look at his actions in the book, he does not. He listens and takes all advice. That is good. So he definitely lost that battle, without a doubt. Let's see what else. He defeated Renly's army. He did that with help of shadow magic, but nevertheless, it was Stannis army who was in control. So you have to give him that win, but it was shadow magic. So if you say, well, it was shadow magic, that doesn't count, then you cannot count any victories that Dany gains using dragons. You cannot count any victories that Robb Stark used using his direwolf. You cannot count any victories that anybody used using anything but troops, if you want to go that route. So if you give those people credit, you must give Stannis Baratheon credit for defeating the Tyrell army without even losing a single soldier, which is the best way to fight. And if you ask Sun Tzu, he will tell you that too. And I have a video on Sun Tzu, and that's the Windsor Winter, how the Battle of Ice will end. And I use Sun Tzu's philosophy in that. If you have not seen that, give that a look. And I do believe he will win the Battle of Ice, so that is another battle under his belt. If he does win that battle, and I do believe he will win that, and I do believe he will win Winterfell, which would be another battle under his belt. So you look at Ned Stark and his actual battles that he has been in. I mean, he's really the Starks. Ned Stark and the Starks are secondary characters in this book. I mean, obviously the Targaryens are the star of this book. The Starks are of the North, and they are main important characters, but they are secondary characters. Jon Snow importance is because he is part Targaryen. If he is not part Targaryen, then he has no importance in this. If he was full-blooded Stark, I don't see his importance in the book whatsoever. Period. I mean, because you already have full-blood Stark, so what would separate Jon from them? That is why I believe he must be part Targaryen, or it makes no sense to have him in the book. You could have had this Rob, or you could have had Rickon do just about everything he did, and just aged him up faster and had him go to the war. Did something, or just use Jon's character as Benjen Stark, who was already up at the war. It would make no sense to have him unless he is Targaryen, because the Targaryens are the star of this show. They're the star of this book, and that is it. Lastly, as I hold my Stark cut, because I love the Starks, and the Starks are my people, because the Starks are bannermen to Stannis Baratheon and all the Baratheons. And I love my bannermen. Ned Stark died supporting Stannis Baratheon's claim to the throne. So it's hard for me to see when people diss Stannis. How could you diss Stannis and support Ned Stark when Ned Stark supported Stannis? You're doubting your own liege lord. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? You're supposed to roll with your people. Your people are saying Stannis is our guy. So Stannis should be your guy. And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way I see it anyway. Real quick, since I'm going done with that real quick, I hope you enjoyed it. I love it when I hear that sound. I really do. So, real quick, to all the people who have been leaving me those sexy comments, and you know who you are, I know it is true, but I'd like to hear it, so keep saying it. No, in all honesty, no, thank you very much for leaving those very nice comments. I'm not going to say your name because I don't want to put you on blast or anything like that, but it's very much appreciated. And my fantasy football team is doing phenomenal. I'm going to win again this week, I do believe. I've only lost one game, and the game I lost is because I had Deshaun Jackson and Robbie Griffin III starting, and they both went down that game, and I lost by 2.1 points. And I should have just put Jay Cutler in, and if I didn't, I'd started him the week before, but I played the matchups. And the matchup, Robbie Griffin III versus Jacksonville, Jaguars was a better matchup than Jay Cutler at San Francisco. That's something, if you do play fantasy football, let me tell you something about these matchups. Try not to depend on playing the matchups. Play your team. If you know how you drafted, just play your plays. All these guys, you try to go to waiver wire and grab this and grab that and grab this and grab that, you're grabbing junk. If you drafted right, just play your team. All right, and I'm done with the fantasy football. I ain't going to talk about that because this is the Game of Thrones thing. So please, if you enjoyed it and you liked it, please subscribe. Please like this. This is the best in the biz right here. The fastest rising channel right here. We do big things right here. You know what I mean? So subscribe. Like it. Thumbs up it, and I will have the next video locked and loaded for you and ready to go. Comment on it, and I will get to once I see the comments, I will do the quick, probably wait for like 1,500 views, and then I'll look all the comments, and then I will do why I put this video the way I did. And when I do the why video, I will do the finish up video to this right on top of it. So we'll just put those right together, and we'll have all that wrapped up, and then we will know how I feel this whole A Song of Ice and Fire will end. All right, and until then, you know who it is. It's the Don, Tony Teflon, House Teflon, Teflon 316. What? We pull the strings. And always know that when the breaker of lies is here, anybody can get it. Brat, brat, brat. Females can get it too. I don't give a fuck, boo. Peace.